Back in Davos, Switzerland, President Trump also spoke about his former national security advisor, John Bolton, and whether he should give testimony in the impeachment trial. Let's listen.
I would rather interview Bolton. I would rather interview a lot of people. The problem with John is that it's a national security problem. You know, you can't have somebody who's at national security. And if you think about it, John, he knows some of my thoughts. He knows what I think about leaders. What happens if he reveals what I think about a certain leader and it's not very positive, and then I have to deal on behalf of the country? It's going to be very hard. It's going to make the job very hard. He knows other things. And I don't know if we left on the best of terms. I would say probably not, you know. And so you don't like people testifying when they didn't leave on good terms, and that was due to me, not due to him.
Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett joins us now. Major, good morning. What's your reaction to what the president just said there?
Well, the White House has made it very clear to me, lots of senior administration officials have, that if John Bolton is somehow, and this is a very remote possibility, currently subpoenaed by the Senate for this trial, the White House would immediately assert executive privilege and say much of the conversations between the former national security advisor and the President of the United States are classified. Therefore, this would lead to a protracted court fight, delaying the Senate proceeding for weeks, if not months, and the White House would fight it every step of the way. So the president sounds sort of equivocal on this, but the White House legal strategy is anything but.
Was it surprising to you, Major, to hear him say, listen, he didn't leave on good terms, and I've said some things about people that I wouldn't want repeated, and it could be very awkward? Was it surprising to hear him say that?
No, it sounds to me the president is anticipating the book that John Bolton is writing, and if that's all the space taken up by John Bolton's public testimony, meaning a book, the president can live with that. John Bolton is writing a book. The president knows he is someone who likes to sort of be a truth teller on the outside, having once been on the inside. It sounds to me the president is anticipating that sort of problem in the future, but everything the White House is trying to accomplish with Senate Republicans is to keep John Bolton out of the impeachment mix.
But, Major, is the White House and President Trump going to have control over the question of witnesses? We saw Mitch McConnell, who thought he had a consensus on the rules, have to make 2 concessions. Could that signal more twists and turns ahead? It
could, but I would remind those watching that those concessions were very small and very much at the margins. And the superstructure that Mitch McConnell has built for his Senate Republicans, which is to have a series of votes much, much later in the process on the question of witnesses and documents, still remains. And it is that superstructure that the White House favors and that still places a very, very high bar against new witnesses and documents, which would speed this trial up and give the White House precisely what it wants.
Major, as we've been saying for a couple of days, the Democrats need 4 Republicans if they're going to get witnesses on the stand. What's your sense behind the scenes there, whether they have those, could have those votes?
Well, look, all the votes yesterday are very telling. Remember what happened on the House side. Every time there was a vote, House Republicans were completely locked in arms on the president's side. There were 12 votes yesterday, 11 on Democratic amendments and 1 on the Republican organizing proposal. Republicans were lockstep there. That's a signal of the future.
All right, Major Garrett Forrest in Washington. Major, thank you very much.